Oh yeah, Awakening. Probably the game I spent tons of time on and can't turn it off. Gameplay and... gameplay. Mix this with a decent story and you get a great combination. Well, almost. There is one important thing missing. Great characters. And in this term, Awakening delivers like any other Fire Emblem game. Well, almost any other. And this is a list which probably has been there tons of times, but I also have my favorites. But for a change, it'll be 7. Not 10, not 5, not 3, 7. Top 7. So we can get at least some variety, if that's still possible. Let's clear a few things though. First, this is only my opinion. You may or may not agree, and that's fine. 2. No Spot Pass characters, bosses, or allies, and no bonus team units. Same goes for DLC and Avatar. Third, I'll be judging usefulness on the battlefield and personality almost equally. In some cases, however, I might consider more the personality or the use on the battlefield. Now that this is out of the way, let's start the countdown! Which list does not include the dear Sarger? I've seen... none actually. Seems like this list is no exception. But I honestly see the reasons for this. Sarger is considered cold, creepy and cruel. On top, she stalks the avatar around regardless of the gender. This stalker dark mage also loves to experiment with hexes of any kind. Did I mention that she is a stalker? Does this make her unlikable? No, not the least. To be honest, it makes her quite different and interesting, since she's cold on the outside, but by time May warms up to people, except to the avatar, who she's in love with, and of course she treats him or her nicely. Sounds like another Dara type. Is this Dara emblem or can it remain waifu emblem? On the battlefield, I consider her as a good choice for your magician in your team. She has a high magic and speed stat, but her skill is awful and she doesn't always hit. But if she does, the damage she'll do will be insane. I hope that's not caused because the enemy lacks of attention because of her outfit. Still, there is one mage I prefer over Sarger all the way, and you'll find out... not now! So, next! One of the children, even one of the most popular. Are you serious? Yep, but I don't care. He's still here and you can't change it. Inigo is, massive spoiler warning, the son of Olivia. He might be shy, but he's still a cheerful nature and loves to flirt with any girl. Including random village girls, but that's another story. He says it's just training to overcome his shyness. Nazer, who's a great dancer, sadly. On the battlefield, Inigo has a huge benefit gameplay-wise. He's a child unit, and depending on his father, he'll be a beast. Hate me, but he always is a best beast when I make Rom his father. No regrets here! Inigo starts as a mercenary, stats depending on the parents. So he can start out weak or powerful. Either way, he can catch up with the rest of your team very easily. Give him a few levels and he can hold his own weight. If he survives the power lock. Make sure he does, because you won't be disappointed. Maybe you will? You get my point! prom starter, the obvious choice, who is also included in almost any list. Is there a list not including her? I can see why though. To be fair, Lucina is a very strong character personality-wise. She had to go through many struggles in the future, especially with the loss of her parents, which made her a very serious person around her allies. When with her parents or her sibling, however, she shows a carefree and more childish side, becoming more personal around them. On top, she's pretty naive, as shown in her supports with the female avatar, if this one is not her mother. And she takes everyone seriously, even Vayne. On the battlefield, she does quite good. Depending on the mother, she'll be the strongest member in your army, or one of the strongest. She still has to catch up with Morgan. However, there aren't much possible choices for her. But for a child unit, you must have. She's very good and should be considered to take in your team. You won't regret it. Just for unlocking her supports, it's worth it. Okay, here it goes. Okay. I want to know who said Sumia isn't worth the trouble, because this is absolute bullshit. Why? I'll tell you. While not being a very deep character, Sumia is still very good in her own right. She's a kind person and a hard worker, yet she is very, very clumsy, and her special talent is tripping over everything. Besides the Sumia punch, of course. Yet this doesn't stop this Pegasus Knight to improve herself however she can, or as hard as it might be. The supports add to it, even if they are not that deep. In combat, she's probably the best Dark Flyer, excluding a potential female avatar, but that's another story for another time. Sumia is a unit I'm always able to rely on, although her stats aren't the best when you get her, so she has to be supported by someone first to level up. But just give it a few levels, and Sumia will be able to handle many battles alone, and when she promotes to a Dark Flyer, she's becoming a beast. Literally, nothing is able to stop her. Besides both and Wind Tomes. But that's why Yota Shield exists! Okay, now we're measuring off pay-to-win skills. You can say whatever you want. I find this guy way too underrated and not enough appreciated. You know, I really love Varion, as you can obviously see, and I don't regret it. Yeah, you can fight me. A Duke of a fallen country who thinks highly of himself, wears a bib, and does a terrible flirt, proposing right on the spot. Really, Varion? Anyway, at first it seems like he's pure annoyance, but when you don't expect it, he shows his talents, like reading people, talent for political intrigue, or having a knack of strategy. It's just so much fun reading his supports and see what he can do in truth. Same goes for his combat abilities. Many say he's one of the worst characters in Awakening. I say he's one of the best. Not as good as Nare though. Give him a few levels and he can handle himself all alone in battle. The only thing he lacks is an offensive skill. This is why Astro Bro exists. But still. Oh, by the way. I shouldn't say it, but I admit. He's my favorite as support choice. I supported him 4 times in a row. Don't you judge me, and don't you even ask. Cyree is awesome! You can come at me, fools! But seriously, for some reason I love Cyree, unlike many people. I don't know, I really love her the most out of all the females there are in Awakening. No, seriously, I like her above any other female in Awakening. No one can compare. Cyree is the princess of Shanxin and younger sister of Yanfei. She has an old-fashioned speech, yet always gets to the point. She is the strong type of woman too. Somewhere, she has her charm, and she got me there. On the battlefield, I give it that. Long Q and Owain are better. Long Q has better stat growths, and Owain has the benefit of being a child unit. And if you pair this up with the right guy, you get a beast Owain. But that doesn't mean Sairi is bad. She is actually quite good, and honestly, I use her over Long Q and Owain. I stated before why. Don't worry, I still use these two guys, before anyone gets at me. But this female swordmaster is more worth to use for me. I'm really making myself popular here, aren't I? And now, time to reveal my favorite Fire Emblem Awakening unit! Who is also my favorite character of all time. Yay. Getting a lot of people on me. Yeah. He still is, so anyway, number 1 on this list, and in my personal opinion, best character is... Okay, better get to the point right now. This is taking too long. Best character, best dark mage, best lines, best everything. Everything is awesome about him. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Anyway, Henry is easily the best for me. I know, he's popular. I know, he's common in lists. But I don't care. I can't deny that I love Henry the most. And I knew it since the very first second I saw him. Nothing, and by that I mean nothing, can beat that guy so far. Yes, I played, or I'm playing, other titles besides Awakening of Fates. Thank you very much. Henry is a very, very cheerful dark mage who smiles non-stop. He loves battles, dark magic, and blood. He shows that he doesn't know the value of life or lacks common scruples. He'd do anything to make a person happy. Anything. He's very obedient too, showing his support with the Avatar and Cordelia, for example. His past, however, wasn't as bright. He was neglected by his parents and was sent to an institution. In the localized versions, he was sent to an elite magic school. Well, by the way, where he got in touch with a lot of pain. He went through a lot as a child. In combat, he's easily the best dark mage. His bases are low, but he makes up for it easily, and after a few level ups, he destroyed whole armies. No kidding. Maybe I had some lucky growths on him. Either way, he became my strongest dark mage in the team and outdid Sarger in no time. Also, he's quite a Nosferatu tank, and the skills he can obtain are advantages for him. Overall, yes, Henry's awesome in my opinion, and it's hard to top that. Phew, that was quite a list here. And quite a long explanation why Henry is my favorite character in Fire Emblem. Wow, I definitely made myself popular today. I can already see the comments. If anyone will ever comment and didn't click away when I praised Henry too much like a fangirl, oh well. Anyway, if you kept watching until now, tell me, who are your favorites? Do you agree or disagree with my points? Let me know. I'd really like to know. Also, let me know what I could do better in the future. Thanks for watching. This was Evening Eve sharing her pointless opinion 4 or 5 years too late. Anyway, good day, night, evening, whenever you're watching this. See ya!